What's up, everyone? Showdown breakdown time again. It's Monday Night Football. I'm here with Bobbywow, breaking it all down. Very excited about the Bears. My guy got hurt. Dart got concussed. Bobbywow. I went into a tailspin.
Did you?
Yeah, I was really concerned about Dart yesterday.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was in like a mental breakdown mode. I couldn't even look at no, not Dart. No. But we have more football.
Take me instead.
Yeah, take me. I was gonna put myself. I'll smash my head against the floor. I'll be the concussed. I'll do it. I'll take the hit. Anyone but Dart. Who happened to be almost the nuts once again, even with the concussion. Hashtag just saying. But we have Monday Night Football. But Bobbywow, these island games have not been good.
No, but I think this one is going to be better. I really do. I think this should be a really fun, competitive game. And I think the Eagles win here as underdogs.
They're almost not underdogs at this point.
It's true.
They are. It is at this point as close to, I think it is pick 'em, or if it's not, it depends on the book we look at. So this line, actually, I want to pull this up on the app. We'll take a look at this line movement, but like this line has been really close, and we got a banger tonight. This is an important matchup in the NFC.
Yes,
very much contender teams involved. Oh my God, dude, that is unbelievable, John. Back to it though. Two contenders going at it, two good defenses. We've seen a lot of really shitty island games, like horrible. Both teams play defense here, Bobby. Wow, this could go that way.
It could go that way. Yeah. Really interesting too. Packers coming off a really ugly loss to the Panthers. Not that the Panthers are like a horrible team, but just not expected. You would think the Packers would beat the Panthers. Now their two losses are to the Browns and the Panthers. They tied the Cowboys. Usually you see a LaFleur team come back with a vengeance. It's kind of like Dan Campbell's Lions. When they lose a game, same thing with LaFleur and the Packers. So I do expect a very competitive matchup here.
I love it. Jolo back in business. The big news for the Packers is, the loss of the tight end, who was the focal point of the passing offense in a lot of ways. Somebody else has to step into the role. Maybe it's going to be Luke Musgrave, but maybe not. Who are the candidates to even fall into this role?
I mean, it's Musgrave. Musgrave, and then I think they've got, John Fitzpatrick is a tight end over there. He'll get some extra reps. But Musgrave he's the guy, man. He's going to be the guy.
Cool hands, Luke. Let's take a look at these matchups here real quick a little bit, and we'll get an idea of the usage. So obviously last week, Tucker Kraft gets hurt. The guy who gets the snaps, Musgrave steps in, got a couple targets too. So, he got all the snaps, got some targets. Obviously, he's somebody we need to keep in mind for this one, salary dependent. At running back, we're still seeing a really, I'm going to call it disturbing lack of usage for Josh Jacobs compared to his normal usage.
Unpack the disturbingness for me, please.
Josh Jacobs was like an 80% running back all of last year. 85% on this team. I'm talking about he got all the work. And quite honestly, one of the things I noted coming into this fantasy football season was like, Jacobs was not really getting there on like big plays or super talent. He was getting there from 25 to 29 touches per game.
Yep. That's
also what destroyed Jolo last year, is that they just leaned heavy on Josh Jacobs. Okay, fine.
Why do you think that is? What is leading to this? Is it his play? Do they really think Emmanuel Wilson is kind of like the spark plug? Is it an injury? What do you think it is?
My guess, without knowing, is that he's somewhat banged up or something else is going on there. Or they're worried he's going to, Yeah, he's been banged up, hasn't been the same. Nathan Shepard, something's going on there that we're not fully privy to in terms of why this guy went from really 90% of the carries. Like, this is not fucking around. He was getting all of the running back work last year, and it kind of has adjusted to like a normal 70%, 65% running back, which is not, it can pop, but it's not as locked in with floor. And a guy like Josh Jacobs, he was not doing a big play. So I don't know. I
think the most concerning thing too, and that's a really good point you bring up. The most concerning thing for me is last week was a very competitive matchup with the Panthers. Like the score was close the entire game. So it's not like Jacobs got game scripted out by any means. And we're looking at a 58% snap share. That is just not what you're looking for out of Josh Jacobs.
No. And it just implies something's going on. I don't know what. It could just shift back at any moment. But it does imply that, okay, true. This isn't the same Josh Jacobs, and it's not the same ceiling that we had last year's version. It's just not, right? Now, does that mean he's not going to have a great game tonight? Absolutely not. He can have the best game ever. Matchup's not that great, so
no, it's not.
It might not be that great of a game, but he could have the best game ever. It doesn't matter. All right, so let's roll through these wide receivers now. So this is interesting. The return of Christian Watson, C. Watts, he's back. This guy is an injury waiting to happen. It's a miracle that he's played 2 games. Like, that is absolutely miraculous.
I think we need an asterisk here because he burned you in fantasy, I think, in your season longs and all that. So
not burned so much as like, I like the player, but like, he's always hurt. He's another one of these guys. He's like a Waller. Like, he needs to prove he's not Waller. Like
much more athletic Waller.
Waller, I mean, like, where there's like a 60% in-game injury chance, every single week. That's what I mean with Waller. Like, his in-game injury odds are like minus 250. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets hurt all the time. But Christian Watson has that big playability. I've had this guy on my dynasty teams since he was a rookie, and I will tell you that when he is out, his role, he is a deep ball guy. He has extreme speed, but more importantly, he has the get up and get it ability to just launch one up in the air. And, he's going to jump up and he's going to be bigger than the other guy. He's going to be more athletic than the other guy. And he's going to get, he gets the Band-Aid icon and man, but he's going to go up and get it. So he is a big play wide receiver. We don't need a lot of receptions. What you need is that one big play. Romeo Doubs, 92% snap count last week, 27% target share. This guy is being treated like a stud WR1 at this point.
He's had kind of a rebirth this season. He looks much different. He looks much more active. He looks like more like a WR1 than ever before, I think. Yeah.
And then finally, there's some turds that float around in the bowl. Might float to the top. Savion Williams out there getting a couple snaps, getting a couple targets here and there. Matthew Golden, man, it's hard to get excited about him and his, declining. You want to talk about scary, Bobbywow? How about Matthew Golden going from 60% on the season to only 36% last week? What's up with that?
I do think he's dealing with an injury. Now, I don't know that he exited last game. That would be my assumption. It's a shoulder injury. My guess is he exited last game. And that's kind of why we see the dip in snap counts.
Yeah.
And he's questionable tonight. It's not for sure that he's going to go tonight even. So we got to keep an eye on that. But he has been as disappointing as it gets.
Yeah. So let's say he doesn't go. Golden, by the way, I will take you back to my dynasty roots. Matthew Golden was a first round pick that the dynasty community was like, we were not happy with this pick. That he's not a player. Basically, he has a player profile that fails, I would say 90% of the time. And by that, I mean, not productive in college, but a first round pick. That almost never works.
That was kind of the risk. Yeah. And they took a risk and it has not paid off.
I'm just going to get into a side note here about teams should stop taking that risk. That literally never works.
So are you telling me you're not gonna be Golden tonight?
I don't know about Golden. I don't know the salary yet. We got to look, but more importantly, just in general, teams need to stop taking non-productive college wide receivers in round 1 just because they test well at the combine. That literally never works out. It's the fail rate is so massive. I was doing a little research for Dynasty. The fail rate is so massive on that it could just be straight faded every time. Okay, let's shift gears.
The guy has, I mean, just stats wise, the guy has not caught a touchdown pass this season.
No,
he hasn't had more than 5 catches in a game this season. He's only done that once, 5 catches. So yeah, it's been ugly.
Yeah.
One other thing to mention here is that, we see Wicks with that 0%. Wicks is likely to come back tonight. He's been out for a couple of weeks. He was out last week. He will more than likely come back and slot in probably somewhere between Watson and Golden. So he's going to get some reps as well. Even if Golden plays, Wicks is going to get some reps. He's a guy that'll see the field 35-40% of the time. You
got to like Wicks tonight if he plays. You got to like Wicks if he plays. I'm curious, what was the injury? How long, that kept him out? And if this is one of those ones where you recover and you're back to yourself, or if it's like a slow ramp up situation.
No, he's questionable, but it is a calf injury. I think he's going to be fine. He'll be a relatively full go for him, which means 40% of the snaps. Fine by me.
And I love Watson. I'm going to definitely have Watson because he's a guy that can break a slate. Like, his skill set breaks the slate open if it hits.
Garth feels me. Garth gets me, man. There we go. Garth Anderson in the chat.
Did you just throw a reference in there? I missed it.
I did. Well, yeah. I mean, a little K-pop, K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I didn't. I've not seen that. So yeah, no, I haven't seen the Demon Hunters. Not yet. All right, let's shift gear. I know of it. I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it. All right, shift gears. Talking the Eagles, and let's take a look at the matchup sheet. Again, Saquon Barkley continues to be the only game in town at running back for the Eagles. We like that. Don't have to really account for these other guys outside of injury lineups. Do with that what you will. My guess would be if I was building a injury lineup I'm doing this for Saquon, I would probably use Bigsby as the guy who would benefit.
Yep, agreed.
Dallas Goedert has been really great this year, but also banged up on occasion.
Yeah, he gets hurt, and then we'll see some Calcaterra. I mean, Calcaterra is going to be on the field a little bit as well. They do run some 2 tight end sets, and he's capable. But yeah, it would take a Goddard injury, I think, for him to be super viable.
Yeah, not going to have super interest in these other tight ends. And then we know what the Eagles do. They throw it to Brown and Smith, and they don't really like Brown Smith. That's a nice thing about this team. Outside of like the Jahan Dotson upside dart throw, you don't have to account for turds on this team. They don't play them at all.
Nope. And even Dotson is kind of a turd, really.
Yeah. Is there anything matchup-wise between Brown or Smith that would have us leaning towards one versus the other?
I don't think so. Not for me. The Packers are just a sound defensive team across the board. So I don't know that I have one lean over the other. We'll have to see if pricing is the same. Pricing's been pretty much, those 2 guys have been the same price week in and week out, which kind of has me favoring Brown a little bit, but
I don't know.
Smith has been really good.
Yeah, he's been better. I feel like Smith has a better connection with Jalen Hurts, like, generally, than what Brown seems to. I would lean Smith over Brown just for that little bitty itty bitty reason. But
Brown's kind of been a little bit of a cancer, it sounds like, in the locker room. Or at least that he seems to be a little bit more the dramatic one, but who's to say at this point?
It's also possible that Hurts is the problem in the I'm not sure who, like, I'm not in the locker room. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But there's definitely some Brown and Hurts tension.
Drama. Tension, drama.
Yeah.
Whatever.
A little bit of tension there. All right. And that's a backdrop. Nice thing is we don't have to account for turds on the Eagles. I love that. Every single non-turd on every single other player, Hurts, Barkley, Goddard, and the 2 wide receivers, I think, are captain candidates.
100%.
Yeah, they're all captain candidates. Then I think it's less captain-y to me on the Packers side. I don't really trust any individual player on the Packers to pop off so crazy. Yeah, love it, Savage. First of all, huzzah for the super chat. And second, we appreciate it. You're kicking ass, taking names, and using the Dom station to crush. We love it. We love to see it. Let's do it again tonight. Let's do it again tonight. All right, so let's jump over to the Dom station here and take a look at who the field likes at captain. And Bobbywow, I'm going to say kind of no surprise here. A little surprise, but not super surprising. Got Josh Jacobs up there.
I'm shocked.
What do you think?
I'm shocked. To me, I mean, it doesn't matter the slate. Jalen Hurts is a perennial like 20+% captain owned guy. I know he's still, 13, 14%. I'm just shocked he's that low, to be honest with you.
I think there's other exciting plays that you can get to.
I'm surprised Jacobs that high too.
Jacobs is probably too high, in my opinion. If the team was favored by more, I'd be more excited about it. Or if the Eagles had like a mediocre run defense, they don't. They're very good at stopping the run, or they tend to be. Of course, it could just be another stinker 3-6 night tonight. Who knows what happens? But I would say the ones that surprised me a lot, to get Smith and Brown down at sub like 8% levels, I think that's pretty interesting. I wouldn't even mind taking a crazy shot on Watson for this price with all of that upside.
You know what? I wouldn't even hate taking a super deep shot on Musgrave at the price.
Acceptable. And of course, Dallas Goedert, who's had 30-point games or 25-point games already, he's not as cheap.
He's a little more expensive. A little more expensive. That's like
you don't get the exciting pay down. Then Romeo Doubs is in there. I get it too, man. This guy's like a 2-touchdown per game machine.
Yeah, and he's priced well.
Yeah.
He's basically this, just a little bit more than Goddard, and he's the WR1.
Absolutely. And Savage, we will do a full FanDuel part of this second half. So stick around for that. It does change for FanDuel. It changes somewhat significant. Like FanDuel basically tonight, guys, without even going over to it, Hurts is such the best. Like Hurts should be about a 30 to 35% captain on FanDuel, with Jordan Love mixing in even a little bit, and then the running backs. Wide receivers just have a very tough time outscoring a quarterback on FanDuel, especially this format where the ball might be spread around a little bit. All right, so let's, like I said, where were we? Yeah, captain side, we'll jump over to some of the flex positions, see where the turds are, and get a sense of some of these salaries here. So, yeah, you got Brown and Smith. Watson 6,200, 54. That's not that cheap for a Musgrave, Bobbywow. 5,500 still got some spend in there. There's Dontavian Wicks.
It's not bad when you look at the prop projection, especially relative to the guys in that range.
Let's take a look at it. So if we're sorting by salary, let's go by salary and compare their projection a little bit here. So he's got an 8.1, 9.5.
So really he's projecting better than Dobbs at 800, or about the same as Dobbs, I should say. I'm sorry, about the same as Watson, a little bit cheaper. And then you got Goddard.
You can save a little bit over Watson. I would still suggest that I don't care. Like both of these guys are very much in play because Watson's a big play guy.
Look, my point is he's cheap and he's going to be low owned at captain. So MME, that's where you're taking a shot.
What about going down to Emmanuel Wilson down here at 3 with an acceptably not that bad prop?
To me, he's your kind of flex value play, turd-ish that kind of gets it done in the lineup. He's the guy where everyone's going to go because he's kind of been a little bit of a spark plug for this team. He's looked really good in his opportunities, and that's at least contributing to part of why we're seeing a little bit less of Jacobs, because Wilson's actually looked solid.
21.7% projected ownership, so significant.
Yeah.
Another significant ownership, I'm going to say, your guy here, Wicks, at 20%. That's okay. All right. He's getting some interest. Musgrave, Watson here. Golden, no one wants to play. I get that. Doubs, heavy exposure. Brown and Smith, the same price, same exact almost projection. Smith projecting just a touch higher, if that means anything to anyone.
And I think just to go back to Wilson, like this guy he's getting, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 or 11 touches in a game. And this has been happening since week 3, basically. Like he is just involved. He's part of the game plan. He's also a guy that gets targets, got 2 targets last week, 4 targets the week before. So he is in there. He's a guy, anyone getting 5 to 10 touches, including some targets in the passing game, who's 2K, is a guy that you want to pay attention to.
Maurice is saying that if Golden's out, to keep an eye on Malik Heath. Yeah. I think the first guy that benefits is Wicks, or Wicks might benefit anyway. Wicks might just get mixed in. And then maybe if Golden's out, you get a little more of that next guy down the list. It could be Savion Williams too.
And the Packers could not be more different than the Eagles in this regard. Like they will throw to anybody and everybody in the red zone. So you'll want flex exposure to all these Packer wide receivers that are going to be healthy.
Yeah, I think what it seems to, the way it seems to logically for this slate, it seems to me that if you want your turd, it should probably be from the Packers. The Eagles do not include the turds in anything that they do.
I agree. I agree. That's a good way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, like pluck the turd from the Packers. And these numbers, by the way, 12% and 9%, like that massively favors Emmanuel, who's like a quarter of the price of Jacobs. And like we can get basically almost a free square in Emmanuel. If he gets a touchdown, it's locked into the nut. I like it. I like this Emmanuel play. I think it's fine. You can get like a 12, an 11, a 10 out of him.
That's all you need. I don't like it at captain. I like it in the flex.
No,
though.
Not a captain play. No. But a decent flex play. Bobbywow, so your favorite turd overall? It's got to be
turd is
like your favorite pay down option.
I mean, it's Emmanuel Wilson.
Are we counting him as kind of like a turd, or he's just a regular play?
He's a pay down option. He's cheap. I mean,
he's
pretty much as cheap as I'm willing to go. I will say that, I do have a little bit of interest in John Fitzpatrick as kind of the backup tight end for the Packers. He's going to get a boost here as well. He's at 1,600, I believe.
Let's go back to the matchup sheet and just let me remind myself if he got snaps. 27%. Didn't really elevate. He's just there doing his usual thing.
Yeah. All I'm just saying is like a backup tight end turd that could score.
Yeah.
He's going to be off everyone's radar. No one's going to play John Fitzpatrick tonight. So worth a couple shots. But yeah, Emmanuel Wilson to me is the clear pay down.
Any other of these sort of pay down options that even is it Heath and Savion Williams? Wicks we're already kind of going to have a main. He'll be like a mainstay, I think.
Yeah, I think with Wicks back in there, my guess is Golden plays and he's kind of limited, so it's going to be ugly. So to me, with Wicks back in there, it's really tough to get excited about Heath and Williams. But I'll have some in MME. You're definitely going to want some exposure. I really do. My favorite play on the Packers is Luke Musgrave. I know it's gross, but Musgrave is a legit pass catcher. The Packers drafted him in the second round back in 2023, and he played a really big role. He played a big role for that team. I think he caught a touchdown in their playoff win against the Cowboys. Like that, he was drafted to be the guy.
People forget that Musgrave was drafted ahead of Kraft in the same draft class. Yeah, he got some targets last week too.
When the Packers are going, when they're doing their thing, Jordan Love is lighting up the tight end. We saw it with Kraft earlier in the season. Didn't see it with Musgrave last week, but I do think I would be shocked if that didn't change. I would be shocked if we didn't see at least 5 targets for Musgrave here.
MVP viable?
Captain viable. If you're rolling MME, if you're running out 150 lineups, yeah, I think you could have 10 lineups with Musgrave. But to me, he's my favorite flex play on the slate.
All right, let's build a FanDuel lineup, a DraftKings lineup here. And kind of talk through the players as we do it. So obviously, Jalen Hurts is always going to be a top play on any slate that he's the quarterback. Not the best matchup for Saquon Barkley. Although, again, we are reminded, and I am reminded that I'm sorry, I just got distracted. That Rico Dowdle just tore up this team for 34 fantasy points as a running back. Anything can happen. That's what we're reminded of. Like last week, it was Rico Dowdle destroying these guys.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
And Saquon has been excellent. I mean, he's been very good, and he's been getting better, and he's just been really good. He's on fire. So,
yeah. So, but I definitely prefer Hurts. I think Saquon's a little bit to me of a contrarian captain play, but very playable. He's still Saquon Barkley, and he smashes. Does not matter what the matchup is.
Let me ask you this: both those guys in the same lineup, acceptable?
Yes.
Okay.
You know how it happens? Because Hurts can run for touchdowns too. Like, yeah. You can't really like negate one for the other. Hurts runs.
The key is if Hurts can throw one to Barkley and he gets in, then it's over. Those guys are both in there. Yeah.
I would say Love and Jacobs are less likely to hit the nuts together than even Hurts and Barkley. So I might avoid. There's two things I'm going to avoid. One, I think you avoid Love and Jacobs together.
We talked about it last slate the Packers were on. Jacobs just does not catch a ton of passes for the Packers. No. I love. That's one rule I love is ruling those two out.
You're a rare rule maker, but okay, on board with that. I like it. I think either of Brown or Devontae are great captain plays. And Dobbs is probably pretty good too. They're all averaging about the same fantasy points per game, and Goddard's right up there too. Look at their average fantasy points per game. You know, it's right there. They're all kind of the same. 14, 15, 13, 13.2. Any one of them. So the matchup is probably really good for Dallas Goedert. I just want to make sure he's not banged up. Yeah, he's coming off of a bit of a dud, but hey, play Goddard up there. Throw in Hurts. Is Dobbs a must play?
A must play?
Is he like not a must play at this point?
No, but he's a great play.
Yeah. He's getting 30% of the target. Like his targets have been really good.
He's a WR1. I mean, just plain and simple.
I'm going to mention that Cato is screaming in the background just as I mentioned Dobbs' name. And for those who use that as an indicator of players that might be better, the Cato definitely loves Romeo Doubs right now.
Now, let me ask you this. If you had to play one between Love and Jacobs, who are you clicking first?
I feel like it's Love. I don't know. What about you? What are you thinking?
My heart does not want to play Josh Jacobs, but that snap count's brutal. But my gosh, he's still getting it done, man. He's scored every week except for one. Didn't score week 3.
Yeah,
but he's still putting up big numbers rushing. He's getting some targets, which is weird. 5 targets last week, 3 targets the week before. Still not scoring. He doesn't catch touchdowns. He really doesn't. I think he's caught like 1 in his entire career. It's very, 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 very minimal. But like he's still getting it done.
Yeah. I mean, Jacobs has been better than Love overall. Cato, what do you think?
Equal always choose Love. Yes, I love it. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Gotta go with Love. I don't know.
I was just kind of impressed when I pulled up Jacobs' stat line. You know, last week we saw the 58% snap share, but he still had 17 carries for 87 yards and a tutty to go along with 4 catches on 5 targets. So like, he's even at that lower snap count, he's still doing some damage.
Yeah, actually the targets have kind of been there for him too. Can't really knock it too much. The targets have been there. So yeah, it's probably
been there, but he's got to catch a touch. It still doesn't take away that rule for me because he doesn't catch touchdown passes.
Yeah. And remember, this guy scored a touchdown like just about he's averaging a touchdown each week. So, he's scoring a lot. That's a big part
last week he scored 20 points. That definitely gets it done here, I think.
I think I mean, what did Love score last week? Let's see. Only 10. So there you go. Usually when I do think that normally when Jacobs excels, Love doesn't. Let's see what happened week 8 and week 4. Because it's possible they can get it done together. Let's see. Week 8, nope, 13.5. Week 4, monster.
Well, that was against Dallas. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you have to throw that one out.
Cincinnati and Dallas, you kind of throw out, right?
Yeah, you have to throw out any Dallas game. Always. Cincinnati especially, got to throw that one out. Got to throw that one out too. So I think you get Dubs in there. Yeah, I think you maybe go Barkley. We don't want Barkley with Hurts, so maybe you go Love in that one. And yeah, you could finish it out with Musgrave.
I think you clicked Jacobs on accident.
No, not on accident. I don't have Love in there, so you got to put.
Oh, I thought you said go Love in that one. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, something like that could work, and then finish it out. You'd have to go with Temple Emmanuel over here, or yeah, that's about right. Leave 1,300. Whenever I run into this situation, what I do is I go see if I can, like, you could probably make this exact lineup, but with Dubs up top. Don't have to, but you can make the same version with Dubs up top and Goddard down here instead and leave a little less, or even, let's see if Hurts can do it. I always like to see, all right, can I have played Hurts there? No, that squeezes it out, right? That squeezes out that availability. What about a cheaper captain start? So if we had to do one pay down option at captain, where would you go?
I think the obvious one is Goddard for me.
Yeah. That's the one I just did. So I wasn't able to really squeeze out all that much extra value.
You could try like a C Watts or a Musgrave. I would say go C Watts. Let's see what happens with Watson.
Actually, we'll put Watson and Musgrave in there, and let's see how that all comes together. Put them both in there. Now we're up to 9K. Luke, Watson for the big play. Get Hurts in there. If you got Goddard, you need Hurts, and you need a second wide receiver.
Give me Jordan Love in this lineup with Watson and Musgrave.
Can't afford Jolo and Hurts in the same lineup.
What if you go Goddard? Oh, you got Goddard in there. What if you go Hurtsy instead of Smith, and then finish it up with the Dobbs? Do you have enough space there?
No, doesn't quite work.
Then you're in the dead zone.
Yeah, this zone becomes a dead zone. Well, you got Dontavian down here, but you know what? You can't do. So the way to afford it would be one of Watson or Musgrave, go down to like a Wilson, or just play a kicker or something like that, which is unsexy for the show, but nothing wrong with playing the kicker. Which kicker is playing?
McManus, I think.
Week 7, it was this guy. Week 9, it was this guy. So, okay, probably McManus. There we go. So you throw in him. Ooh, it still can't get the math to quite work. McManus, Musgrave, Jolo. Yeah, there's going to
know how much longer McManus has left. He's been bad, but yeah, it should be McManus.
Yeah, no, he's been terrible. Fuck that. Don't want anybody who's been missing field goals. That's a disaster.
Elliott's solid.
Yeah. 7,500. Watson.
The problem is the only problem with, obviously we talked about the Packers kicker's been really bad. Elliott's really good, but we see the Eagles go for it a lot, on 4th and short, and that kind of limits.
They don't kick a lot of field goals
at times.
Yeah, they're not kicking as many field goals on that team. I don't love Musgrave as captain, but I think it's doable. I do think that the way to build this one, like instead of Goddard here, would just be like I would just go with like Smith, you know what I mean, and then save the salary somewhere else. So favorite captains, yeah, Bobbywow, favorite captains. You have to pick 3, and that's the only 3 you can use tonight.
Jeez, yeah, give me Hurts, Dobbs, and Goddard.
Hurts, Stubbs, and Goddard. All right. If I had to go out, I love those 3, also agree. If I'm expanding beyond that, I'm getting Devontae Smith up there. I'm getting AJ Brown up there. I do have a fantasy football reason AJ Brown could be the captain tonight, by the way.
Why is that?
Like I'm in an important league.
Oh, you're going to get.
Yeah. And if AJ Brown scores, I think more than 20 or 25, he'll pass me in that league. So there's a good chance he's going to get there.
I don't know that narrative has been paying off. We might have to go back and kind of check the records, but just in case you do keep track at home,
it does pay off at times.
Okay,
I have a long history, but I only remember the time when it pays off. Like I never remember the many times it doesn't. I only remember the bad things. I never remember the good.
And to your point, you mentioned Brown and Smith, and I want to hear your third one, but those two guys are just simply too low owned to captain on DraftKings. Like, those are very contrarian options for some reason, at least indicated by ownership, and that's the spot to take advantage in tournaments.
I think Smith is my favorite of them all. It's no great reason. I like Goddard too, but I like Goddard, Smith, AJ Brown. I feel like Smith has been outproducing AJ Brown just a smidge. Could flip at any moment.
Would you be shocked if I told you the props projection for Romeo Doubs is actually better than both Smith and Brown?
No, I saw it. Yeah,
ever so slightly.
Yeah, he's right there with them for a little cheaper. Well, Doubs has been getting 2 touchdowns. Like, this guy catches 2 touchdowns like frequently. It's weird. Yeah, he had a 3 touchdown game. Actually, he doesn't get that many touchdowns now that I see it. I just was remembering this one crazy game. I prefer the other 2 over Doubs. Even though it's the same and they're more expensive, you're locked into targets, locked in with Brown and especially Devontae or Goddard. You're locked in. With Doubs, you know what they can do. All of a sudden, it's a Wicks game, and they throw it to Wicks or Christian Watson or Musgrave or someone else. They will spread the football more. So I think we can get more concentrated offense from the Eagles side.
Yep, agreed.
All right, let's jump over.
As gross as it is, I do think this is a defense in play slate. Both defenses can be good. Not a captain, just in general.
What about a rule that says not to have? This is a rule I've been forgetting to tell people to do, but I use this a lot when I'm building. I don't. And it failed a couple times recently, so take that as you will. But historically, I don't like playing both defenses in the same game.
Agree. Yeah, I will never ever play both defenses.
Yeah,
if that wins, tip the cap. But no, it's not doing it.
There it is. It has won a couple times lately on these horrible.
Has it really?
Yeah, it actually hit.
I know, like
Raiders
QB
game.
and opposing defense has won, but
no, actual 2 defenses in the same lineup has won some of these showdowns recently. But yeah, for unique Savage, you want to do 2 or 3 uniques depending on how many lineups you're making. That's what I do. I'll do 2 if I'm running like 150 or more, and I'll go down to 3 if I'm doing like a 20 max or something like that. But the rule that you can make to avoid double defenses on this tool, you go to player groupings. This is a rule I pretty much always make. So I'm just going to select Eagles. I'm going to select Packers, and I'm going to set stack between 0 and 1 in all lineups as a rule. And this will just make sure that I never get more than one of these in any given lineup. I had that same rule yesterday for like Lamar and Derrick Henry. I do that rule a lot for quarterback. I'm going to make the same rule for like Jordan Love and Jacobs. They don't tend to, it's not to say they can't, they definitely can have a good game together because Jacobs does catch passes, but he would need to catch a touchdown pass from Love for both of them to be propelled.
So I like instead of Jordan, Love, and Jacobs there, I love the defense rule. With Jordan, Love, and Jacobs, I like to say if QB Jordan Love, I go to the stacking, and I say if QB Jordan Love is captain, exactly 0 of Love, and then same with I'm sorry, if Jordan Love is captain, exactly 0 of.
Yeah, you could do that. If you want to do it just for captain. So yeah, here's how you would do it.
Exactly
if
0.
Jolo is captain,
and then vice versa.
Exactly 0. You could just say the name, right? Like we could just say 0 Jacobs. So I would still play. By the way, you don't want to do RB in the flex. You want to do Jacobs because you want to allow Wilson to be in there. But not Jacobs. This is actually a better version of that rule. And that way, if they're both together in the flex, all right,
could get it done. Captain, not as much, because if Love is scoring touchdowns, it usually means Jacobs taken away from Jacobs and vice versa.
We have a lot of Philly people that watch the show. Big Philly audience. A lot of people going to be rooting for the Eagles tonight. We root with you guys.
Go Philly.
All right, let's jump over to FanDuel and see how it differs. Now, remember, FanDuel, they changed their rules this year. Their showdowns are the same as DraftKings in terms of how they score the MVP position with the doubling 1.5x salary, 1.5x the prop. So they mirrored DraftKings, but the difference remains on FanDuel. quarterbacks and running backs, just because of the half-point PPR, project better and do better and are much better captains than like pass catchers. For a pass catcher to get there, the team, like Dobbs did it a few weeks ago, 3 touchdowns. That kind of shit allows a pass catcher to get there. I've seen Dallas Goedert, when he's the only guy they're throwing to, also get there for the Eagles this year.
True. It's much harder though with this Eagles team for a pass catcher to get there.
Yeah.
I will say that.
So already I see. So you've got 17% Hurts, only 17%. Hurts should be 30%.
God, that makes me want to play FanDuel and just go 100% Hurts. That's so low.
Yeah. You've got Barkley, also great. Listen, if he's having one of a Barkley days, he will break the slate. He's somebody you want. I think the 15% is appropriate. Yeah. Jacobs and then Love. And then after that, it's a lot of wasted exposure on guys that are probably not going to get you there. Who below these guys do you even feel is an acceptable dice roll?
No one.
This did not happen. Brian Daboll get fired?
Did he?
Nathan Southern, are you predicting something that could happen, or did that just happen? That would shock me if that happened.
Did the Bears get Daboll fired?
How?
He's gone.
What?
He's gone.
Are they not watching the show?
Caleb Williams got Brian Daboll fired.
How?
He stinks. He stinks.
The Giants finally showing some life. I wish I was a Giants fan.
Oh, please. The Giants have been just an epic collapse.
That's crazy. Dart looking good? Nah.
Dart has bailed Daboll out. He bought him a couple games. Daboll stinks.
All right. Well,
I don't know. To me, he stinks. They have blown leads, incomprehensible leads.
That's correct. That's surprising to me. Mid-season, he earned a mid-season firing. How? There are so many worse coaches and teams right now. All right. Well, that was a little surprising. Anyway, back to FanDuel. So yeah, Hurts way too low owned here. Very expensive, so understandable, but very low owned. But look at his projection. Just look at the projection relative to everybody else. He's coming in with a 30.5. The next best guy, and he's a little less expensive. So Jolo at this price, actually for the 24, is actually same points per dollar value. It's not even that bad.
Yeah, Schefter did tweet it. Yeah, and Hurts is expensive, but like Jacobs is expensive. Like these guys are expensive. Jacobs at 18.9. Barkley's cheap relative to those guys. Usually we see Barkley, at Hurts pricing, but he's below Jacobs, which is kind of interesting.
That is interesting, but I think Jacobs has outscored Barkley this year on a per game basis.
That's true. That's definitely true. Just lately, Barkley's been hot, but Jolo, to me, Jolo is like kind of like the contrarian darling, right? He has 30 plus point upside. And we've seen it. At least we've seen it on. Yeah, I think we've seen it a couple times this season. So he'll score 10. He'll look like a bum, and he did last week against the Panthers. But then I think the week before or 2 weeks before he scored 30. So like this guy can put up points with the best of them.
Dude, even don't count him out. Even Davis Mills put up a 30 burger yesterday. You know what I mean? Anybody can do it. And none of those wide receivers got there. Like you have to have the quarterback on FanDuel. So they're giving us a little bit of gift of low exposure on FanDuel for Jordan Love. I think you got to accept that gift. I think you just got to accept it and play some of that. I'd probably be at least doubling the field on this. So now the chat is saying maybe he's not fired. Maybe it's a suggestion. That's why I was like, that's really surprising.
So would you? What about going all in on Hurts and Love? What are your thoughts?
I don't have any problem.
By the way, Adam Schefter did tweet that Daboll's been fired. It is official.
Yeah,
it's 100% official. Daboll's gone.
It is. Yeah. If Schefter said he's fired, dude. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It's official. Wow. Again, I'm just. It's not relative to the showdown. It's just really surprising to me. With the young quarterback looking as great as he's looked, that a team would do that.
This was his third like horrifically blown lead though in the last like 5 weeks. Like,
yeah, that's not a big that to me. That's not a good enough reason. You're bringing the young quarterback along. You keep your guy in there. Of course, you know, as a Jets fan, any coach with even half a pulse that doesn't completely suck, I'm like, he's great. We have the worst of the worst.
Yes, I hate being in that phase where you can't even be excited about wins. Like the win yesterday was so gross.
Yeah, that was nothing impressive either. But all right, so let's get back to it though. FanDuel, we've got Hurts and Love as your prime captains. I think you got to mix in the running backs too because they can get it done. A little bit here, but I don't think you need to go beyond that. If you have to go beyond it, Bobbywow, and go away from running back, quarterback. Obviously, I think Hurts is the best of them. You know, I think Barkley has some interest. Jolo is really interesting at 10% ownership. Is there anybody else that even we need to consider? Like maybe like a Goddard, Musgrave, like some tight end that's cheap enough to allow other things to work?
I think you can make the case for like AJ Brown. We've seen him put up 35-point games. Even Smith, it's such a long shot. Like if you're going to play those guys, they're the same projected ownership on DraftKings. Play the wide receivers on draft. We talked about this before. Go play those guys on DraftKings.
Let's see if AJ Brown or Smith outscored Hurts in that big game they had a couple weeks ago.
32.
So he got a 32. Brown, he got a 29. Right? October 19th. We got a 29 and a 32.
The same game. Yeah, they both outscored him. That's crazy.
That is wild. That was on what? Wait, let me just double check that again.
That was both Minnesota, Brown, I think.
This was October 19th. He put up a 29. With Smith, he put up the big score. Also October 19th, he got a 31, and Hurts
got a 27. So it's possible.
He got a 25, a 26. Oh no, it was the 19th, right? So it was the 27. Both of them outscored Hurts.
That's crazy.
So, you know, it's not that crazy. Think about it, because he's not throwing to anybody else. He's just like those. It was only those two guys.
Both guys to go off. Both guys don't go off often. That's the crazy part to me.
Almost never going to see that.
But yeah, but no, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because it just happened. So yeah, it's possible, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So I think both of those guys have to be at least mildly in the GPP sort of mix.
I still maintain I would go to DraftKings and just go really heavy on those guys because they're literally the same projected ownership.
Yeah, might as well just do it. You're right. You might as well just do it on DraftKings. Play the quarterbacks on FanDuel. If you're a split teams guy, you play the pass catchers on FanDuel. Pay running on DraftKings. You play running back and quarterback here on FanDuel more aggressively and hopefully win one of them. Yep. Let's take a look at the turd zone here on FanDuel and just see where the bargains are. Luke Musgrave, 7,800. So if I put Cool Hands...
Look at Wicks. I'll go scroll down even further. Look at Wicks's price.
Wicks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you get a freebie. You put him in, you can do whatever you want.
Looks like he is FanDuel core on DFS Up North sheet. So there you go.
That's why. So you can kind of do whatever you want. Throw in Musgrave as well. Or Watson, who I again, don't sleep on Watson. I'm telling you. Do not sleep on Watson. This guy, when he gets it done, yeah, Musgrave for 5,200 ain't that much worse. Goddard, Smith, or Brown, yeah. This lineup looks pretty freaking great.
Yeah, and of course, don't forget to mix in Wilson as well. I think he's 3,600. But yeah, I like the lineup you put together.
It's kind of a fun. It feels a little almost funner to build on FanDuel and DraftKings with this sort of more easy ability to focus heavier on captain quarterback and then just mix around what aren't really turds, but rather good plays that are spread around rather aggressively at the different salary levels, like 5,200 Musgrave on FanDuel. Understand, relative to DraftKings has him at 5,500, but the quarterbacks on DraftKings are like 10. Here, the pay-ups are 13. So relatively speaking, that's a lot more savings for Musgrave, who's a touchdown scorer. Like, you want the tight end, they score touchdowns.
Yeah. Yep.
Fun one. This will be a good one tonight. I did not love last night's showdown at all. There were too many choices, and I didn't like the way it was setting up. I do like this one.
Me too. I'm excited to play it.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to do it. Showdown breakdown. NFL Week 10, Monday Night Football. Eagles, Packers, big game. Play a lot of Hurts and a little bit of love on FanDuel at MVP. Mix in those tight ends, those touchdown scorers. DraftKings, we're going to, I think, focus a little more on pass catchers at the MVP or Hurts, and mix in the rest.
Love it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good luck, everyone. Remember, we'll be back this week on Thursday morning for the Thursday night showdown. Friday, tournament tactics. Back again. I've got my first look breakdowns coming out here on the YouTube channel on Tuesdays. So make sure to look out for FanDuel and DraftKings first looks coming out on Tuesday as well. Guys, good luck tonight. Helmets up. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.